The current run of Miles Morales Spider-Man is an authentic, anime-inspired, high-flying adventure that promises to bring Miles back to basics, featuring Miles' new weapon, the Venom Saber. Before we start talking about the current run on Spider-Man, I just want to say Happy New Year, Soups. This year marks our 1-year anniversary of doing this, and I just want to say thank you to all the guys who watch this show and people who've just been following since day one. In case you missed our last episode, we were able to sit down with Cody Ziglar, the current writer of Miles Morales Spider-Man. Cody was able to sit down and just tell us about the current run and a lot of things that he was writing about and what's to come with the story, along with Spider-Punk 2, which is going to be coming out this February. So go check that out if you're really curious. All right, so let's start this. This run starts strong as hell. The story opens up with Miles stopping an armed robbery from the Scorpion, and it's a treat to really see Miles get to take down the Scorpion just like that. During the armed robbery, we also meet a very important character who becomes even more important during this first storyline. Her name is Raneem. Later on in the story, it's revealed that Raneem is going to be our new big bad, Rabble. After stopping the Scorpion, Miles zips back to school to find Genki waiting for him in the bathroom. Genki lets Miles know that they're late and points out that Miles got a black eye from the Scorpion. Once they're at Mr. Acapulco's class, Acapulco proceeds to chastise Miles. Miles then fires back, which then lands him a suspension. Following a touching phone call from his parents, Miles, while out web slinging, stumbles across the villain, the Bumbler.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay. Interesting name. Cool ass costume though. Honestly, is making me want to talk about the art. Federico Vincentini's art is very fun and kinetic and very detailed. It's just really nice to look at. You can see a nice flow of everything as it's happening. And in this fight scene between the Bumbler and Miles, you see a lot of different things going on at once. But the fight is cut short due to Miles venting some anger while fighting the Bumbler. So who upgraded the Bumbler's suit? Well, by issue 3, we learn who's been upgrading the villain's suits. No, it's not the Tinkerer, but a new character, Rabble. Rabble is a really cool addition to the Marvel Universe, especially as Miles is big bad for this first story arc. Cody Ziglar actually infuses a very interesting story with Rabble's origin. Having her being connected to Miles's beginning of going to the Visions Academy was a really nice touch. When talking to him in our interview, we were able to talk about how he was kind of inspired by the Tinkerer in the Spider-Man video game. Raneem comes from a Middle Eastern family who is very hardworking. Her father owns a shop within Brooklyn, and her family's been trying to make ends meet for the last years. Ever since she was a little girl, she's always had a connection towards machines, could even hear them talk, and even could fix anything for the most part. Her father was always encouraging of this talent. After losing her mom from an illness, Raneem went further with her machine work. She tried using her gifts to get some type of monetary return, but no one was interested. Her father suggested turning her eyes to Brooklyn Visions Academy. Raneem jumped at the idea to get the recognition that she deserves. For all the hard work she did, for all the hard work her parents did, she wanted that recognition. But after her name wasn't picked, then I guess you guys can put 2 and 2 together. Raneem's motivations feels very real. It feels like things that happen within our own world, within our own society. Her motivations are also tied to one of the biggest driving points within the story. Miles is tired of living that double life. Within the story, you're seeing him crack under the pressures of having to go to school and having to be Spider-Man, and feeling kind of alone, but not really alone. I think one of the big things in the story is that you see Miles learning that he's not alone in this. He has his girlfriend, Tiana, also known as Starling. He even gets to meet Misty Knight, which I gotta say, giving Miles a mentor, especially a black mentor, is really interesting. There's even a cool little panel in there that really is my favorite line within this first story arc. You know, I work very well with others, and the other Spider-Man can totally vouch for me. And it'd be kind of dope to work with another black hero. He also has Genki, and he also has his family. Reading this first story arc was fun as hell. Getting the time to really sit down with Cody Ziglar, the guy who wrote this, was even better. But now, time for our ranking. Will it stand the test of time? For me, let's go back to the art. Federico Vincentini's art style is phenomenal. Watching the kinetic movements and even the anime-inspired type of vibes that I was seeing throughout this entire thing. And then even talking to Cody and hearing him talk about how, yeah, like we're kind of turning him into a shonen. Great ass shit. And just the writing itself, it felt very fresh, very lively, and also felt kind of youthful. I would say this book is a 5 out of 5. This will stand the test of time. Now, I'm still reading the rest of the run, so let's see how it finishes out. And maybe if this video does well, we're probably going to do a part 2 of this. But as always, let me know what you guys think. Let us know within the reviews or comments of the show, and be sure to follow us on the socials at TikTok at Super Saturdays Pod, Twitter at Super Saturday PC, and Instagram at Super Saturdays Podcast. Your comments, your views, and all of the like will be shared on the show. So, as always, see you next Saturday, Soups.